All right, so in this video, we're going to introduce the fundamental counting principle, okay? Now, the fundamental counting principle can be used to determine the number of possible outcomes when there are two or more characteristics, okay? So I'm going to abbreviate fundamental counting principle as FCP. So if an event has M possible outcomes and another event has N possible outcomes, then we can count the possibilities that they have together just by multiplying those possibilities. So M times N would be the amount of possible outcomes for the two events happening together, okay? So we've got three example problems here. Number one, in how many ways can you roll an odd number on a six-sided die? And, okay, so that's the first event. And the second event is to draw a diamond from a regulation deck of cards, okay? If you don't know how a deck of cards is broken down, you really need to kind of look into that, because when we're teaching probability, we're going to use a lot of card examples, okay? So let's think of a six-sided die. It's numbered 1 through 6, so the odd numbers would be 1, 3, and 5, okay? So there's three ways to roll an odd. You either roll a 1, you roll a 3, or you roll a 5, okay? Now, a regulation deck of cards has 52 cards broken into 4 suits, okay? Hearts and diamonds, and then spades and clubs, okay? So 52 divided by 4 is 13, so there's going to be 13 diamonds, okay? It's the numbers 2 through 10, a jack, a queen, a king, and an ace. So there's 13 different diamonds you could draw, okay? So the amount of ways you could do both of those together is going to be to multiply 3 times 13, which means there's 39 different ways, okay? You could roll a 1 and then choose any of these 13 cards. You could roll a 3 and then choose any of these 13 cards. Or you could roll a 5 and choose any of these 13 cards. When you total all that up, there's 39 ways, okay? So we use the fundamental counting principle to help us count all the possibilities to make it easier for us, so we don't have to break it down into all the different ways, okay? All right, pause it here, try number 2 on your own, and then come back and check your work. Okay, number 2, for their anniversary, you want to get your parents a framed photograph of the family, okay? At the store, there are 3 different frame styles, okay? 3 different frame styles. Those are available in 6 different colors, okay? You also want to use a mat, okay? And there are 4 different shades to choose from, okay? So here we've got 3 different, okay, events that we're dealing with. We've got the different frame styles. There's 3 of those. They come in 6 colors each, okay? And there's 4 different mats we're going to choose from, all right? So I used M, N, and P here. We don't use the letter O. Looks too much like 0, so I skipped O and went to P for my next variable. So the amount of different possible frames you could have here with the mat is going to be 3 times 6 times 4, which is 72. So 72 different frames that you could buy. All right. And finally, number 3 here. Okay. You go home this afternoon. You want to make a sandwich for lunch, and you look in the fridge, okay? You want bread, obviously. You want 1 protein. You want a slice of cheese. You want a veggie on your sandwich, okay? But when you get home, when you look in the fridge, you notice you've got 3 different types of bread to choose from, okay? White, wheat, and rye. You got 4 different proteins in there. You've got ham, turkey, roast beef, and salami. You got 3 different cheese types, okay? American, Swiss, and pepper jack. And then you got 2 different veggies. You got lettuce and onion, okay? So how many different sandwiches could you make, okay? All right, just based on this combination: bread, protein, cheese, and 1 veggie, all right? So 3 different types of bread, 4 different proteins, 3 different cheeses, 2 different veggies, okay? So we're going to take the product of these 4 things, all right? 3 times 4 times 3 times 2 is 72. So you could make 72 different sandwiches based on the combination of stuff that you want on your sandwich and what you have in the fridge, okay? So it's just 3 quick examples for how to use the fundamental counting principle to make counting the possibilities a lot easier.